now to get your helmets on because it's gonna get rough in here. All the way from Studio B, it's showtime for John, Ken, and Mark, the Detroit Sports Authority.
Kitties. It's that wonderful time again. Once again, when Uncle Johnny here. Hi, everybody. John Sawyer at CKiW iRADIO 76. Welcome to the Detroit Sports Authorities, the only place that's not bought and paid for by the sports teams. We do have the highest standards here. We are not experts. We're authorities, and that makes us one better. This is normally where I get the Super CPA Ken Pocket to come in, only because this is where I forget all the beginning. How long have we been doing this show? About that long? Yeah, I would say. All right. So coming in through the door is the Super CPA Ken Pocket. Hiya, Kenny.
Hi, John. Hi, John, and hello to everybody out there that has favored us by tuning in.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, we're just going through the preamble right now, and we were just, I think I got everything except for the Mr. I's lawn, but I think we are all done with the preamble. So
okay,
now,
so you explained to everybody that we have the highest standards then, right?
Yep, we got the highest standards, not bought and paid for by anybody. We don't have the FCC here, but we do follow the DMCA, and sometimes language get a little salty, and if it does, oh, well. All the opinions stated in this show is all ours and ours alone, so don't bug us.
And you can't steal those opinions as your own, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't you can take our opinions to the water fountain tomorrow and be cool around the water cooler, be the smartest guy in sports. You'll be the one that will want to extend Joff's contract for next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that, because you're the smartest lion GM in the room. All right, now we got the preamble out of the way, young man. Let us dive in to this wild week.
What we need to do, I think, at this point is we need to revive one of the old standbys from the days of yore, and that's the CAC of the week.
Yeah,
because we're backing up here. I mean, we've got them lined up at the door. The most obvious one is I'm back again.
Yeah.
Harbaugh.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I thought, you son of a bitch, you played it so well again.
Yeah. Did you miss me? I'm back.
Yeah, and until next year, when the Cowboys job is open, or next year when somebody else is open, sign me to an extension all you want. Every year I'm going to trot out this same bullshit every single year. I don't care what that contract says. I'll go to a team that can buy it out. Or I'll be smarter than you idiot U of M people, and say, look, I want an opt-out. I want an opt-out in every single year. Oh, okay. All right. Anything you want, boss.
But here's the thing. He has not been offered a job in the NFL at all.
No.
The rumors were, well, he's hot for the Denver job. Well, they weren't so hot for him. All of a sudden they're looking at Sean Payton, and he comes back, well, you know what? I'm glad to be in Michigan. I'll never leave you guys. I'm happy to be here. I'm proud to be part of this organization. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, it's one of those things where Harbaugh, Harbaugh, since he's been at U of M, has nothing but jerked him around the nose. I mean, he's played it brilliantly all through this thing. As big as bad as University of Michigan is, your GM department blows. Your AD department blows. You're so happy, feet for. Go ahead.
He's jerked them around, but they've jerked him around too.
No.
So I guess you'd call it a circle jerk at this point.
Yeah, with a bunch of circles. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I mean, he came in like, the first time he was there, like da-da-da, you guys got to give me tons of money. And he did crap for years and years and years. And then they jerked his contract and said, look, dude, you know what, we're going to give you a smaller base rate, but we're going to give you all kinds of incentives. Bing! All of a sudden, he skyrockets, not 1 year, but 2 years. Yeah. And both of those years, he says, I'm going to the NFL. And you're right, it's the same thing. He's the hottest name in the NFL. Yeah, so hot that for 2 years straight, bottom feeder teams have passed on him.
Yeah. Let's face it, when you look at the various jobs that you could possibly want in the NFL, does Denver really strike you as, gee, I'd really like to go there and have a quarterback who went in the tank and is a problem and, oh, my God. Yeah, sure, right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, look, Harbaugh is a nut job as far as we know. I mean, let's go Trump-wise. From what I've heard, he is a nut job. There you go. However,
yeah.
I mean, when we say nut job,
people tell us.
Yeah,
right.
Word on the street is,
Yeah.
However, what's going on there is he's not as much of a nut job as he has his own drummer. He does what he wants to do, and somehow, some way, he's become the new Bo. And it's like, look, nobody, look at how he ended in the NFL. That didn't go well. I mean, everywhere he's gone, he's always been physically at one place, but his eyes are anywhere else but where he's coaching at. You didn't do all that.
Sounds like Barry Brown, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, but Jerry wasn't, I don't know if Jerry was so... I don't know. How do you describe Harbaugh? It's like it's greasy, man. I mean, and I don't mean Brian. I mean, he is just like, how do you trust this guy? Because he's always looking for the bigger, better deal. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, kind of, but not if you're at University of Michigan. I mean, was Bo ever looking for the bigger, better deal? No, he was a Michigan man. And that's why everybody else...
He almost went to Texas A&M, right?
Almost is not good enough. He stayed here.
We forget about that, don't we?
Oh. Actually, I forgot about that.
We pushed that out of the way. We don't want to talk about that.
No, yeah, I wouldn't want to talk about that either because I don't remember it. When was this?
Oh, hell. I don't remember the year, but he almost left for Texas A&M.
Wow.
They had to put up some big cash for him, get him to stay.
Yeah, and see, that's what it always seems like University of Michigan ADs are. They're like so reactionary, and when they do, it's like, oh, please don't leave me. I'll give you money, anything you want. Play him for a year.
Yeah.
I mean, how did he get out of going for these last 2 years? I mean, did he have a 1 year contract that he just signed 1 year contracts every year? How did he get to go to talk to NFL teams?
Because there's either no buyout or such a low buyout that it's not much of an impediment. See, if he had a $10 million buyout on the contract, that would be a little bit of an impediment. But if it's like, $1.85 or something like that, well, then who cares?
Well,
that's what you negotiate.
Well, I mean, look at how much that Denver's got to pay Peyton if he goes. I mean, pay the New Orleans franchise. He's not free and clear. He's still on the contract, right?
Yes.
So, All right. So
if they want them, they're going to have to pay for them.
Here's the story. You take the offensive coordinator from the Lions and give him a run.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be talking big time to that guy.
Oh, absolutely.
He's not going to come in and want $20 million in the sky. Give him a chance, give him a shot. And here's the story. If you can turn around that sad sack team, yes, it's only 1 year and it's a very small pool to join from, but, it beats our going with Harbaugh, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the other thing too. If you're in the market for Lions offensive coordinators, there's one about to hit the market.
Oh, really?
These of your okay, and that would be Mr. Lombardi, because we saw what a great job he did over the weekend with the Chargers.
Yeah,
he did such a great job. He's about to be sent packing again. And that's why I said, they're lined up at the door for CAC of the week, and Mr. Lombardi's right behind Mr. Harbaugh.
Yeah, Harbaugh definitely is sitting on the couch eating some Cheez-Its right about now. He is first in line. However, that's so amazing. That it really is. I mean, it's... All right, let's see. How many more CACs can we go through?
There's a CAC up in Green Bay. He's mulling his future at this point. Should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not?
But he can't.
I don't know. Let me string this out some more so I can create more drama.
Absolutely. Here's the story. You're staying in Green Bay, dude. I can't imagine. He doesn't have the guts to move.
Yeah.
But he's a Harbaugh. He can play this. He knows what words to use and everything else. I mean, really, dear University of Michigan AD, wouldn't you be pissed enough right about now? I mean, we're going through this every single winter. Harbaugh goes to the bowl game, blows it, and then immediately starts looking at NFL jobs. And, in the lightest of lights, who actually had real good terra firma to say, look, he's a front runner in Denver. Why would he be? He doesn't fit that team. Doesn't mean he wouldn't be hired. I give you the folks from the Colts. You can't have Mr. Saturday. Oh, God.
I just wonder who was it that put the word out that he was the front runner in Denver?
He did.
People?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, he was going to Denver and everybody went ho-hum, and then all of a sudden you got 3 or 4 reports. Oh, he looks like a front runner. Oh, he's there. Then all of a sudden you get happy feet over the weekend from University of Michigan AD. Oh, we're going to work on something. Oh, Stevens, you're the greatest. Tell Samantha I said hi. Okay. To me, it's just no. And congratulations to you, Harbaugh. Really, seriously, tip of the hat. You know how to play these suckers. Because I don't know. Have you heard, Kenny? Have you heard tons of the alumni start to freak out and go, "Oh my God, he looks like he's going to leave us"? Have you heard any drumbeat?
Not a word.
Agreed. What does that tell you?
It means they're getting a little bit more sick of his act than the athletic director is.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the, I hate to say this, but maybe they have a shred of integrity somewhere in there. Nah, forget it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Going there. Yeah.
I mean,
you can do that.
You can either easily get on the freeway and go north about an hour and go to a place where they went delirious happy feet and gave a substandard coach, in our opinion, hundreds of millions of dollars to stay, on a bluff himself. Okay. Yeah. He's done literally not much, nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what Final Four have you gone to? None.
Yeah.
Harbaugh's going to 2. Has he wiped out? Yes, he has. Have they been exposed as frauds? Yes, they have. However, it doesn't change anything. I mean, University, MSU, you're just, that was reactionary, happy feet, and they're going to come to regret it. And they go, well, the university didn't pay the guy all the money. It was a couple of boosters that did. Let's take a look at the NC2A legalities of this. And, oh, by the way, since you're back, Mr. Harbaugh, let's take a look at those NC2A smacks that you got coming at you right now.
Yeah. About that, yeah.
I mean, Pete Carroll Jr., did we forget that there's a couple of oopsies here? Oh, well, he just took out a kid for a hamburger on his own dime. Is that so bad? Yeah, let's really read what NC2A1 goes for. All right. We'll sit back. Well, they all do it. Okay. Well, then I don't see all their names on an NC2A SmackDown list. I'd see University of Michigan. Let us continue.
And besides, I thought they did it the right way all the time, and they're a pristine, squeaky clean. That's what SEC stands for, right? Squeaky clean. Yeah. But we're better than that here.
Yeah.
We don't do
squeaky clean.
Yeah, squeaky clean.
Wait a minute, didn't he play bass in Motown? Okay.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm even more impressed, frankly. All right. Well, SEC, but now you got Alabama going crazy.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that you had the same guy too. Who is coaching Alabama right now that used to be at Michigan State, who always had the one eye out for the bigger, better deal.
Oh, he sure did.
Yeah, he did, until he landed here, and then, oh my God, you guys evidently were putting out enough money. Then that's why you had a couple of U of M guys rejoin the team, because they knew they were going to get more nil money than they were getting if they went to the pros.
Yeah.
Genius move, boys. All right, stay tuned. And not a word out of Lansing. Nothing.
No.
You don't have anybody that you're not talking about your 3-star recruits, your 2-star recruits, that you can coach them up into something. Are you, Kenny, what's your thoughts on the coach up at Michigan State for football?
I think Mr. Tucker, he was able to put himself into a terrific position financially, and he's happy as a clam. And beyond that, not much going on there.
I agree.
Not much going on.
He's kind of like a John L. Sullivan right now, not like a Duffy Doherty. But he's got paid. What are you going to do, boys? Yep. You gave me $100 million. What you going to do? So, okay, fire me all you want. I'll keep this team, so, 4-win team, whatever. Toss me out. I'll thank you as I go, to my mailbox every 2 weeks and get the big check and then go back and watch Beverly Hillbillies again. No, it's just...
Ching.
Yeah, job well done. I put him up in the same thing as Prince Fielder. Job well done.
Yeah.
Collect that cash and just, watch Gilligan's Island as much as you can. Count how many times Skipper says little buddy. Have a little drink game for yourself. But
yeah, that was kind of a special situation with Prince. Prince really never wanted to come here. And Mr. I grabbed that checkbook and started waving it in front of Mr.
B.
Boris.
Yeah.
And Boris gets on the phone with Prince and says,
"You're gone.
We have your firstborn." You want to see him again?
Yeah. Sign, bitch. Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that goes on with that whole Illich thing that we've gone over a couple times with before. You got 1 star goes down, Illich gets happy feet, Boris smells blood, and says, all right, look, I can get you this guy that normally would cost anybody else about $50 million. Nah, how about let's call it $200 million? Dandy.
Yeah.
Give me that pen, boy. Okay. What a story. What a heartwarming story this was. A prodigal son comes back. A kid that played in Tiger Stadium as a boy. Has a father who was great Tiger here. And gee, wouldn't this be swell there, Mike, if he comes back wearing an English D. And boy, look at that firepower he'll bring over here. And how about $200 million?
And just think of all the tickets he's going to sell.
Yeah, put the fannies in the seats. You'll make this money back.
You can put him on the commercial singing "Little Caesar's Pizza."
Yeah, or have somebody go slip it. Yeah. It was a brilliant move. It was one of those great places at the great time, whatever, and to be able to sucker through and get him over to Texas. Job well done, Mr. D.
Oh, boy, yeah.
We actually got something out of it for 2 years, even though we had to scoop up his contract. Thank you, second baseman. But he actually could do something. Then we could actually put Miguel back at first base where he doesn't belong. And, boy, we did great guns after that, didn't we?
Yeah, but if you compare it to the mess we have in Comerica Park today,
Lord.
You look at last year, and last year was a dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
Charitably, okay?
Yeah.
Well, what changes have we made? Well, we basically have the same hitters coming back.
Yeah, but look at the All-Stars they signed.
Broken down rotation, and the strength of this team, to the extent that it was a strength, was the bullpen. And since then, we've gotten rid of who? Well, we got rid of Chafin, we got rid of Fulmer, we got rid of Jimenez, and now we get rid of Soto, who was, for all intents and purposes, your closer.
Your all-star.
And we got back what? Hello? Crickets chirping. Toot, 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 toot. Nobody home. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but they signed a strikeout machine, some guy that played 3 innings in the major leagues before he had to go to Tommy John, and ever since then has a 6-point-something ERA. Boy, we couldn't wait to get the ink pen out and get that contract dry.
Yeah, but you know what? It comes down to this, because ERA is really it's an anachronism. It doesn't mean that much, because we get better statistics today to tell the whole story. And when you look at never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, where are you going, man? Because that was his best stat.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, really, but then
worry. I have every bit of confidence in the new Tigers brain trust, because they're so much better than the previous regime. Just look at all the great moves.
Yeah.
Oops. Look, a squirrel.
Here's everything that you need to know. You have right now you have a really shitty rotation, and now you made your bullpen the worst ever. And so what do? You bring in the fences. What the hell? You want to put those fences out to Alkaline Drive in Cochrane. You want to put that thing way, way, way out there. You want to make that Chevrolet fall down onto the road because you want to put the wall way back there. You don't bring in the wall when you got a pitching staff that can serve up nothing but gopher balls.
I don't understand it. Frankly, I don't understand what's going on. And it's not like Harris has come out and really told us what's going on.
No.
He's just doing stuff. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And it's got to be like I got to be relevant here. We're not in the newspapers or anything, so we better make a signing quick. Boy, who is on the line? Good, whoever he is, it's ours. Is he less than $20,000 a year? Sign him. Okay.
Well, just the old good news, bad news story. The good news is he didn't cost us anything. The bad news is that's what he's worth.
Yeah, so not only is it a wash, it's a waste of money. You could take these $20,000 guys.
Time.
Yeah.
And he brings these guys in, and then within 2 weeks, he waives them.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the Eisenman disease. Let's waive everybody, shall we?
Yeah.
And are you figuring that one out yet with Eisenman?
The best guess that I have is that what he did is he waived Nedeljkovic to get his money off of the cap because he's going to be taking on a bad contract at the trade deadline in order to get more capital. It's the only thing that I can think of that would make sense. Other than that, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, because...
And I keep saying that, over and over and over again. We're supposed to be making all this progress, and what do we see most of these franchises? I go, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that we don't have a GM in this town that comes out and talks anymore,
Yeah.
Or even managers that come out and talk. I mean, Sparky, give him a marshmallow and he'd give you an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Scotty, not so much, but Scotty never did anyway. Scotty was his own little toot-toot-toot kind of thing. But Chuck Daly would be more than happy to talk to you.
Yeah.
If you set him up kind of thing, and then you're, revolve the big buck. Why talk to him at all? But it's just interesting that you're right. All these things you scratch your head with, it's like you have this big deal sniper. I mean, here's the new code word for you're being waived. Hey, we're going to send you down to Grand Rapids for a couple of weeks to get yourself in shape. That means you're gone. That means you're waived. And you're not coming back.
You are histoire.
Yeah, right. It's like, don't worry, guys. This won't hurt. Okay. So why? I mean, because people are going, well, that Eisenman, he's just being tough guy. If you ain't performing, you're out of here. Yeah, okay. But the optics are pretty bad when you have somebody that says, look, I need help, and I got to go through rehab. Oh, okay, great. You went through rehab. God bless you, son. All right, we're here with you every step of the way. We know how tough that is. Let's send you down to Grand Rapids for a couple of games. By the way, well, we knew you're going to, clear waivers. No one's going to take that $5 million. It's like, yeah, they could have, but what are you telling people? Hey, look, no matter how screwed up you are, keep with the team. Otherwise, you could be gone. Okay. And if you think that Hellberg is like a better goaltender than what you have in Grand Rapids right now, could be up for debate.
Yeah.
I don't see it. As much as I like the components on the Red Wings, I do like, a lot of those team guys. God help us if we got to give them another year, but it beats out going out in the first round in 4 games to Boston.
Anybody in the blue and white they have in mind?
Yeah, but look how good they're doing, though, right now.
I know. I mean, look, they actually are in line to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Yeah, let's set the Wayback Machine, shall we?
Yeah.
But good luck, Leafs. Yay for you guys. It was almost like that where they were talking about how, and this always amazes me. Did you see in the media that there was actually this week about your Detroit Lions? Folks, that is like, Detroit deserved to be there. They do. They could have played better. They could have won that game. Yeah, they didn't deserve to be there. No, they couldn't have won that game. If they could have been there, they would have been there. What a loser town this sounds like when you get idiots that go, oh, they could have beat, they could have put up a better fight than Seattle did. No.
So, it's even spilling over. Because now you have, the NFL came out and they apologized.
Yeah, don't
now
do that.
Now you got the national media starting to participate. And it's like, no, don't touch that. It's poison. Don't go there.
Yep.
But, I've said before that, the fans of this town are suffering from PTSD from all the losing over and over. And I touched on this last week. I said the last time we had a team with a winning record, a winning record, meaning above 500, was the Lions, 2017.
Yeah, now 2023.
Yeah, and you look at the Red Wings. The last season they had a winning record was 2014-15.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, you just get pounded and pounded and pounded by the losing records over and over and over again, and you get to the point where you're like the dog, where you go to pet the dog and the dog puts its head down. Oh,
the funny thing.
So now we're seeing euphoria because the Lions look halfway competent.
1 year.
Which when you compare to the other teams, you're going, yeah, maybe. But you know what, guys? What have they won?
You had
nothing.
You've had one season where you had one game over 500. You didn't win the division. You didn't do anything. You
had half a season of success.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Boy, I'm glad you picked that out. Kenny, it's because they go, in the last 7 games, look, and then they show like the Lions were like the best, and then there's all these other teams. Yeah, okay, let's put the mirror up and go, let's see the first 8 games. What was Detroit doing then? So if you're going to show the last, show the front.
Reminds me of Brad Osmus when he was managing the Tigers, and he'd come out after the game and he'd say, well, other than the 3 home runs the guy gave up, he threw a good game.
Yeah. Blashill was almost the same way. I know we gave up 12 goals, but we're following the process. No. The funny thing is that AJ does the same damn thing. If we could have got out of that second inning, we would have won that game. But the second inning, you guys gave up 12 fucking runs. Okay.
Yeah. But after that, we figured it out.
Yeah.
After that, we got our act together, yeah.
How impressed are you with AJ, by the way?
Not.
Okay. Then we're in agreement. I mean, he's made nobody better yet, and this fabulous manager, you as a part of management, you're supposed to make at least one person better, show that you could elevate the team, do what you can. You don't bring back Castro's to throw 8th and 9th inning. That's, oh, God love us. That's banned this year, isn't it?
And here's the thing. We could say that, the built-in excuse is that the players that he had on the roster were not better, shall we say, betterable?
Yeah.
The basic material of them being better wasn't there. I'll agree with that. And I've said that all along, that, basically what Mr. Avila was doing was just shoveling shit on us and calling it honey. But, boy, it sure as hell wasn't.
No.
But when it comes right down to it, though, you're going to tell me that this manager that we have, Mr. Hinch, he's a great manager. Boy, based on what?
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell me that. I'm pretty much used to the idea that our sports teams are going to lie to us and, blow smoke up our ass every day of the week, but you're going to tell me something like that. Well, what are you pointing to show me? What's the evidence? Well, there isn't any. Well, it's the what coulda, shoulda, mighta.
No.
All right. Well, we have a football team in this town that's done that to us for 60-something years. And,
Yeah.
if you're willing to swallow that crap, well, go ahead, but count me out.
I'm trying to think, Kenny, and especially with baseball being a forte of yourself, if we just focus in on Tigers, how many managers came to Detroit that won big everywhere else but did not win here? Billy Martin comes to mind. I think Sparky was the only one that really came in, and it took him some time. People don't remember that. He just they go, "Hey, Les Moss, see that parking lot? Be in it. Hey, Sparky, come over here." It wasn't Sparky didn't come in and turn it around that season or the next season.
He was hired during the 1979 season.
Yeah, so it took
won in 1984. That's 4.5 years.
Right. Yeah, so that was. It wasn't. I think people thought or remember it to be instantaneous, and it wasn't.
Nope.
It was a grind, man.
You had people. You had players that didn't buy into Sparky's way of doing things, like Bruce Fields, and the Sparky's famous line was "My way or the highway," and several of them hit the highway.
I'm trying to think of how many world championships Bruce Fields have won.
Yeah, that didn't work out, did it?
No, not much. It's like, okay, so, people forget there, even though there was some excitement, some blips on the map, and that's the difference between the Tigers between 68 and 84. There were some blips on the maps between hither and yarn, where it seems lately with the folks in the blue and orange, I don't remember any kind of like a Fidrich popping up or somebody, that can actually look like they're incredibly good at their position, so you would watch anyways. There's just no excitement.
It's boring.
Yeah,
it's absolutely boring.
Now this year, though,
the team is boring. The sport is boring.
Yeah,
everything's gotten boring.
Sport's not boring, but you got a really bad owner, head honcho there. Really, you're going to put a shot clock in there now? Oh God, why? Why don't you just bring the bases in closer? Because then that means the guy will run faster to the base, and you'll have more base runners there. All right, faster to the base, get to the base quicker.
It's almost like a shootout, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like baseball desperately wants to become the NFL. We'll change rules. No, the difference between that little street that's between Co-America and Ford Field is immense. On one side you have the NFL Rules Committee that changes every flipping year. Baseball is based on, and we totally accept, and we like the idea that Mr. Doubleday got it mostly correct. Or fine. I go to a baseball game to hang out. I know I have time. If you really think that because a football game's got a clock, or any kind of major sports has a clock, all the clocks in all the sports go for 1 hour. How long does an NFL game go? How long does an NHL game go for? Way past that hour. So who you fooling, boys? Considering how many timeouts you have at the end, especially in football, how many TV timeouts you got? It'd be interesting if the intern was anywhere around. What is the average length of an NFL game?
It's about 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. What's the average length of a Major League Baseball game? The same?
About 3.5 hours.
Yeah, okay. So then people go, oh, baseball goes on forever. It's the same time frame, boys. The whole thing with with baseball is you can get your hot diggity dog, you get your best gal next to you, put your feet up on one of the bolster things and watch the game. Fall asleep by the third or fourth inning. That's what you're supposed to do. It's okay. We like that you have to pitch this way. We don't want a stupid guy starting on second base to hurry the game along. No, you're giving up a free run back there, and it's an artificial run. So what,
Yep.
And now you got a shot clock coming. Now I understand you're trying to figure out how you can get away with umpires. Umpires, except for Angel, whatever his name is, it's a part of the gig. We get it. We understand it. If you're not selling this game to the millennials, then it's your fault, MLB, for not showing them why your sport is, a really great sport. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
Just come to drag racing. We'll show you why. However, that's kind of like Major League Baseball. How much money have you signed with TV? Nowhere near the NFL, but damn close. As opposed to NBA and NHL combined are licking their chops, unless, because now it's like kind of in money for revenue on TV. It's the NFL, baseball, LSU gymnastics, and then probably the NBA. Because I don't know why this chick on the LSU gymnast team, she made over $2 million. She ain't spectacular in our view. Maybe she does but nobody's ever heard of her until she posed for pictures. Okay. Here's a story. Most gymnasts that we have seen, female-wise, they always have a strange butt, and they always have like a curvature of the back in all these pictures. They may be wonderful folks and all that stuff, but this is not something where you just went hot. I don't know how many Playboy pictures had gymnasts in them, but then again, we're looking at just the physicality of it. But that's what this one woman is basing herself on. She's not talking about how great she did in math and how wonderful she is in the community. It's like, look at these pictures of me. And then when you had the audacity to have all these guys show up and say, hey, well, you're hot. Can you look my direction? And then she freaks out. What did you think you were going to do? It's a cute sport, and it's damn hard to do. And there's no way that I could do that, even though I do want to know how they can just jump in place and do like a perfect circle. That to me is fascinating, how that's done. But it's like, all right already. Let's move on from her. Pretty soon, and she's another nil person. Gymnasts never made $2 million in college. They didn't make $2 million on the pro rank. Gymnasts are cute every 4 years at the Olympics, but even the Olympics are losing their luster. Do you know where they're going to be next time around?
No idea.
Livonia.
No idea. And I can't say that I really care.
See how that's going? See, your generation, boomers, are really, they were the last bastion to keep the Olympics alive. If the Olympics did not show up next year, next decade, next whatever, nobody would care. I think that's, I don't know who it appeals to anymore. Certainly not America, in our opinion.
No. Yeah. Well, I think the biggest problem you have with the Olympics is, frankly, the way that it's been handled over the years. You just get to the point where you say, okay, it's all about our country versus these other countries, and these other countries are who again?
Yeah,
it used to be we had the big, bad so-and-sos from here and there, and nowadays it's like, well, you know what? We're buying all of our shit from them. So I can't get too mad at it. They'll cut off my supply of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have Jesse Owens versus the Nazis anymore. That was kind of the whole impetus. And then everybody takes a look at Brazil and all these other countries that went broke having the Olympics at their place. And then China gets it twice or Russia gets it twice. And then it's like, what? But then what country can afford what the IOC wants you to build? And then they build before, like Montreal, you had... Now, how long did the Expos play there? Now you build the most flimsiest of stadiums, just like a movie set. Make it look good for the opening ceremonies and then be able to take it down in 3 weeks. Nobody can afford the Olympics anymore. I mean, the people, even to send people to the Olympics is crazy money. Yeah. And remember, and I think, Kenny, probably you do, that when the Olympics, back in the day, would win a couple of gold medals and stuff, you would have commercials, you would have Wheaties, you would have, some kind of, flag-waving moment, and then you turn to be, whatever you want to wear, whatever you identify with years afterward. Okay. Yeah. But now, name anybody, I mean, Cassius Clay, quote-unquote, from Louisville, came out of the Olympics. All right, Ali, who has come out, from the Olympics? I should say come out with Jenner, but who has come out from the Olympics in the last maybe 3 Olympics that you remember? Where's the Mary Lou Rettons? Where's the Kameniches? Where is all this stuff? It's not there. And you can't build up one of those up-close and personal stories. People don't care. And especially when you have the best events are either tape delayed. We already know who won because of the Internet. You don't have Jim McKay there. It's like, it's not even good. And then you spread it all around. It's just not on ABC anymore. You spread it around to all these other cable networks. Who is tuning in?
Yeah, and let's face it, the biggest issue, in my opinion, is it just became so damn commercialized.
Yeah.
And it's all about the money. And, the idea of the amateur who's struggling for the sport and the glory. No, nobody cares about that anymore. Nobody believes it. It's all bullshit.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the biggest events of the Olympics was a Miracle on Ice in '80. You can't get that anymore because you have literally NHL players going. What does that prove? You have the Dream Team in basketball. That, sports that Americans understand, it's like we're just seeing another All-Star game, and to see All-Star NHL guys beat up on Lithuania doesn't thrill me. I'm not staying up to 3 a.m. to see this. It means nothing. It's like the people who stay up late for the Worlds. The rest of the world watches it. America doesn't watch it. Okay.
And if you want to see hockey players from Lithuania, if they're any good, they're already over here.
That is true.
There's nothing exotic about watching a hockey player from Lithuania.
Boy, oh boy, Kenny, you just hit it on the head. There is nothing exotic about the Olympics anymore, in our opinion. No. There's nothing, and that used to be the biggest curiosity. A bunch of no-names, someone's going to come out of this Olympics being, a Madison Avenue hero. And it's not, I mean, do you get any pride that, Billy Bob Smith won competitive bull riding, won a gold medal? I mean, seriously, from Mark Spitz backwards, or forwards, I should say, you probably can't remember anybody. It's kind of like a Miss American pageant. That used to be, sit down and watch to see, the swimsuit competition, a bunch of horny guys, However, and then the joke's on you because there's always a one-piece bathing suit, and it's like, what the fuck is this? But they're wearing high heels, so okay, you get a pass. But no, can you remember? I mean, that used to be Bess Meyerson and the whole 9 yards. That used to be the Burt Park things. Here she is, Miss America. And whatever little blue-eyed, blonde-haired, whatever, who could play a harp and a clarinet at the same time. Okay. And you could care less about what the last question was because you just wanted to see the evening gown. And it's like, where's the rack? Where's the butt? Okay, next. But nobody cares. I mean, they had a Miss America, they have Miss World, Miss Universe, all those things gone because people are like, really? Seriously? And if you ever see like one of those A&E kind of things where you see the stage moms, what happened to all the beauty pageants? Same thing that happened to the Olympics. And boy, Kenny, you could not have hit it any better. It's not exotic anymore. Nobody cares anymore. These are package TV deals that are from a terrifically different era, and kind of and the Olympics thing is kind of sad, because it was to see the individual guy, somebody because they always tried out somebody from Kenya that would go up and down mountains, in his bare feet, while lions were chasing after him or something. I mean, it was a cute story. There's some stuff, some kid from Mudlick, Kentucky, who was a weightlifter kind of thing, and he's out in the barn at 3 a.m. after slapping the pigs or whatever they do. And I was at a barn Saturday, man. I'm telling you, a tip of the hat to any farmer, anybody does stuff with horses and pigs and goats and whatever. That's you. Anyways.
Yeah.
But,
let's face it. Let's face it, though, and back in the day, lots of things were exotic that are commonplace. For example, porn. It used to be the guy, the young man would go down to the corner store and he'd bring the magazine back wrapped in paper bag, right? Now what do you got to do to see porn? You just go visit Paul.
Visit who?
Huh?
Visit who?
Visit Paulie.
Paulie? Okay. No. Yeah, but I mean, the whole thing is that you're right. Anybody that can use a mouse can see all kinds of porn. Paul's probably out there right now working his charities that he does for the orphans. But it's there. You're right. I mean, we were talking about this the other day. You don't have a Raquel Welch anymore. You don't have a John Wayne anymore. You don't have a Bobby Unser, Richard Petty anymore. You don't have like these Bob Hopes or whatever, George Carlin's. You don't have these icons that it's like, or even down to Michael Jackson. Oh boy, that guy could dance like Michael Jackson. Anybody who was a good dancer, boy, I could dance like Michael Jackson. Every generation had one. There hasn't been any icons for a very, very long time here. For all kinds of different reasons.
True that. True that.
And you're right. Yeah. I think Roger Gregg was over here the other day from Ireland, and it was, and I think it's almost a boomer thing, I think, that you'd be walking in the woods by Butcher Woods or something, and you would see a old pulped up page from a magazine that had a little bit of dirt on it, but it's like, hey, look, there's a quarter of a boob here. It's like somebody ripped up a Playboy. You're right. I mean, this generation, these kids nowadays, they got it so easy. I mean, you didn't have to have the sweaty palms getting up to try to, get that Playboy that was behind the counter. I mean, can you think about it? Playboy, who in the 60s and 70s was like waist up. I should say 60s. Mostly was all waist up. And you were sweating it out trying to ask that guy for the Playboy. Now if you got a mouse, you can see, just go to Pornhub and holy Lord. Not like we've been on there or anything, but what they tell us, to wrap it back up
word
again.
Word on the street.
Yeah, word on the street is they got all kinds of, it's almost amazing where it all comes from. There seems to be an endless supply where before Playboy, and then you could even play it off. Well, I'm there for the articles. Well, I'm there for the All-American Playboy Big Ten, preview. Okay. And it was. They had
I'm there for the interviews.
Some of the interviews are outstanding. I mean, they were really, now that we're past tense and now that we're not just trying to cover, a lot of the stuff was actually really good reading, But, of course, as soon as you got there, you went for the first pictorial, then the centerfold, then the last pictorial, until you got hip and then went to Penthouse, because Penthouse showed everything, but they didn't have, all the photographers weren't half as good as Playboy. I mean, Playboy could really, it's some of those, it's a tip of the hat because there's some of them, unless you're Barbie Benton, a lot of those women did not look like those photos, Congratulations. Yeah. I don't know how the hell we got off to porn, but anyways,
You're talking about the Olympics. That's how.
Yeah, that's right. I see the direct correlation.
Yeah, they say sex sells, right? You get the gymnasts out there and they're doing the girls volleyball and.
Yeah. You know who I think is the most shameless of all that is beach volleyball.
Yeah.
There is no reason for those women to wear, 2 Band-Aids and a cork. There really isn't, because I don't think the guys do.
Yeah, there is.
You married men, you. Okay.
It's because of the articles.
Yeah, well.
Read the articles. Yeah, uh-huh.
It really was. In Playboy, I could say it really was the articles. I mean, it was everything. I mean, for your $3.50, and the thing was heavier than any social studies book you've ever carried in 8th grade. It was something to look forward to. You look forward to every single month. What is there to look forward to when you click a mouse? I mean, you get to the point and you go, yeah, okay, that's fine. Especially when we went through that whole era of the 90s when all those implants were being put in. P.S. Women, we know what an implant looks like, and we know what it feels like, and we know that it's, we know that you're a time bomb right now because some of these things were not cool, and you guys didn't pay the extra money. You got the Walmart versions that look like you put 2 dinner plates in you, and filled it up to 40 PSI. It's like, now what? God love you, folks, Anyways, again, how did we drift over to there? But the funny thing was that as much as you were so cavalier, and you meaning editorially speaking, people picked up Playboys. Think about all the thousands of magazines there. I mean, if you went down to like High Society or Hustler or Jugs or 44 Plus or all these magazines, it was like, wow, spend wisely. I think I would not probably say that I bought Jugs for the articles. Because there's some.
Depends on what you mean by articles, I think.
Well, there's a bunch of women there from some kind of trailer park in Tennessee, that made a fairly decent living there. I mean, you kind of almost just, and now that you're older, you look at the old pictures and you go, where'd they get that end table? That's what you know.
For a worthy cause, because she was saving money up for dentures.
Yeah, I know, because you kind of sometimes go into that fallacy thingy about strip clubs, and I really think that we got it over on women when it comes to strip clubs, because they think that this thing is some kind of ultra sex den, that you can't do without it, and like all the women, that the women that don't go into the strip clubs are intimidated because you must be like uber hot to be a stripper. And then when you kind of, you kind of pat them on the head and go, now there, some of those women are just disgusting looking, and they are. They are. If you were hot whatsoever, you wouldn't be doing there. I mean, yeah, there's some that are talented, but none that you would remember the names. I mean, you always had that one pal that would always go in after he got his check from Ford Stamping, go down there and blow it all at the Duchess, because Mercedes said, "Oh, I really love you. Thanks for your money. Next." You know, I think that it's a rite of passage from like 24 to 27. That's the golden age of going to strip clubs if you go. But considering how, I mean, did you ever go to John John's?
Yeah.
I mean, previously, before you married Debbie, because you wouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, isn't it funny? The older you get, the more you get the longer disclaimer. I would never go there because of the, you know. But, I mean, and matter of fact, we should almost get Greg here, another CKiW Radio 76 guy, who is actually a personal security or whatever bouncers are called, you know. They're the most restricted. You sit in your chair and you don't move. You know, you don't get close to the stage. You don't make a move on the chick. You know, I mean, at one time, if you know, and that's later in life, if you got a lap dance, your hands had to be your fingers had to be pointed towards the floor. No touching, no grabbing, no circulating, no nothing. You know, and let me tell you, friends, lap dances are, it's kind of like, it's, maybe we should, you know what, maybe we're screwing up. Maybe we shouldn't say how really strip clubs are. Maybe we should say, yeah, they're the most fantastic things of all time, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, keep the women at bay there. But, I mean, really, any guy that is worth his salt, you go through, you know, you're done paying your $20 to park at John John's, even though you could park it yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, because remember that street, I forgot the street that John John's was on, the side street. It was lined up to Butcher Junior High because nobody wanted to pay the $20, you know, to park there. And then when you went in, I mean, beers were, you know, 10-ounce beers were $10. And so, sip slowly. And then I don't know anybody that ventured up to the stage. Evidently we know a lot, but I mean, when you, not this time because you were smart enough, but I mean, did you go through that era when all your friends were doing the strip club thing for the bachelor party?
No, not really.
Make it up if you have to.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time,
yeah. Yeah, and you're so damn glad that it's not you that's getting married, because they'd always go, hey, Dave's getting married. Why don't we bring him up here on stage? Give him a big round of applause. You know, that has some, you know, Dave would go up there, you know, and the chicks would unbutton his shirt and all that stuff, and we'd be applauding and stuff, going, thank God that ain't us up there. You know? And but then again, the one thing that and this goes back to the article things. Really, there's some really good food at strip clubs. You know? I mean, you could get, you know, surf and turf for $18-20. You know, still the beers were 10, but still, if you just went in, honest, honey, I'm just going in for the food. You know, honest, I'm just reading the articles. Oh. You know, I mean, if they had TVs back in the day at a strip club, I'd be watching that as opposed to the performers. But, you know, they're giving them their all, especially if you ever... Did you ever go to the Sail Inn?
Where?
The Sail Inn. It was like this little dumpy place a little bit north of Selfridge.
No.
Yeah, I guess I got to be... We're walking a fine line here, considering that Deb has big ears. But, you know, yes, I'm sure you wouldn't have gone there, but maybe a friend that looked like you.
No, never. Yeah.
Nope.
I might have passed by there on my way to church, but that was about it.
Yeah. I mean, really, the only Louise I was with was St. Louise, you know. Okay. Well, God bless. And it's so funny, but again, there was that whole little 25, 26, 27 when you're the man of the world, you know, and this was going to be it. And then you kind of just outgrow strip clubs. Yeah. And then you get back into sports, which is what we should be doing. All right. So, hockey coming up. We're looking at a couple of winning streaks. Detroit looked horrible yesterday.
Yes.
And I don't know. You get rid of Larkin, I mean, put Chariot as your captain. I think by far you'd go a lot further. It's like Larkin is at best an assistant, at best. I don't see any team leadership there. I don't see, I mean, it's now time for Patuzzi. What do they got? Another 6 weeks before trade deadline?
Yeah.
All right.
It's coming up pretty soon.
Can you find another Shanahan?
Oh boy. Yeah.
That's what this team needs.
Yeah.
It needs another Shanahan. It needs another veteran who is gritty. Can we get past that term, gritty?
Yeah. I will say one thing though. I think it's taken this coach a while to really get a handle on what's going on with this team, but I was very pleased to see when he split up the Sherratt Sider combo, and he puts Wallman with Sider, and it's looked a lot better.
Yeah, I like Sherratt a lot.
Can't say there's a lot of results showing from it yet, but
yeah, but that's numbers.
Yeah.
I think Sherratt, honest to God, there's your captain. I think that guy, he is just to me, he's all world, all hustle, doesn't take any gruff, no grief, and he can really light it. That is your captain. Larkin has had the job long enough, done nothing. I mean, has Larkin elevated his game for all the years that you've been there? No. Yeah. I mean, you've had two captains now that have been highly ineffective. So you kind of go, okay, I think maybe you're missing I think you tried out Larkin as your captain because, well, he's always been that. But geez, Wallman, where are you coming from, son? Are you on a contract here?
Let's just wait and see what's happening because, that Larkin's not signed.
Bye.
Yeah.
To me, I don't think he brings you a second rounder. I can't imagine who you would get because the whole thing about Larkin was his jet ski speed, and I don't think he has it anymore. He's fast, but I don't think he's got that where'd he go kind of speed that he had X number of years ago. It just physically doesn't happen that way.
Well, it's like the old saying goes, he used to be fast, now he's only half fast.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, really, do you think, Kenny, that he's peaked already?
Could be. It very well could be. And again, you look at his age, he's 26, 27? Yeah, so he's entering his prime, but, they've shown that statistically you bring these guys on board as free agents about that age, and that's about when they peak.
Yeah.
And then you start slow decline. That's why I'm not a fan of necessarily breaking the bank to bring in these older free agents. And I'm just wondering if maybe he's had some health issues along the way, and maybe that has slowed him down and worn him down a bit.
But there's nothing. There's no there. If he scores all these goals, he scores after it's 4-1, 5-1.
No, that doesn't take. It's not much of a wait the way it's been going. I mean, you get down 4 or 5 goals in the first period. Yeah, unfortunately, because they have these sputters where they look good and then they lose 3. But you're right. Your coach, Uncle Fester there, he doesn't seem like he puts up with a lot. You're not going to float like you did with Blash. And gee, by the way, Blash, where'd you get that other NHL job? Oh yeah, okay. God bless you. Interesting though. So we'll keep an eye. Honest to God, the thing was that when you're talking about the exoticness of the Olympics, and we got to go back to that. I was thinking about as we faded back in our discussions, we've been in 3 different studios, CK has, since we've had a winning Detroit team.
and we still don't have one. You know, it's
well, here's a couple of things for you. This kind of blew my mind. The NFC North.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have an NFC North title more recently than the Lions. Tampa Bay's been out of the division since 2001.
Yeah, that's true.
Feel good, Lions fans? I'll give you another one.
Please do, won't you?
There's never been a playoff game played in Ford Field.
No, but there's been a Super Bowl.
True. Okay, but the Lions have never hosted a playoff game in Ford Field.
Yeah, but see, Ford Field to some people still feels new. If you would say they never did one in the Silverdome, which would be interesting. I mean, have they? Well, you'd have to.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah,
did one.
One. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So never in Ford Field, never in Tiger Stadium, Briggs Stadium, but one at. God, you know, and the funny thing is, you flash back to some of those pictures where the last days of the Silverdome, when things were like growing through the field and stuff. God, you just look at that thing and you go, let's check the box of so many things that were just wrong with this place. Just wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But nobody knew because at the time everything was space age. You know, the Teflon top. How space age was that? You know, the full concrete floor. 80,000 people. 80,000. You know, 80,000 plus, depending where you're at. You know, probably the thing they got right was opening up with Elvis. That was cool. That was neat. I mean, your biggest claim to fame really is WrestleMania. So, I mean,
of course.
Yeah, I mean that's or the fighting that in the Silverdome, the legendary fights that were in the stadium. It's in the stands. I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they were legendary. It's really too bad that the internet wasn't heavy duty back then, because you would just have so many YouTube fights live from the Silverdome. Yeah, they're playing a football game over here, but look at these two jobs just whapping the hell out of each other. TA. All right. Football, baseball, basketball, anything?
Nothing.
Yeah, really. Bigger nothing than nothing. Yeah, but guess what? They get to go to France, and they're bringing 200 of staff and players loved ones are all going to France, you know, this week. That's why they don't play to Thursday.
Okay. And then one of the players can't play because he lost his passport, and they're looking for it. And don't worry, we'll find it.
Yeah, okay.
Like, yeah, you know, you're dealing with teenage kids. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, yeah. I don't know.
And you're bringing girlfriends, wives, and kids. Okay. Yeah. What could go wrong in France? You're bringing, you know what? The Lions went across the pond. They didn't bring, with the team, they didn't bring 200 people. Honest to God, is this a field trip for you guys? You know, so you can get blown out 142 to 115? Evidently.
Wait till Mr. Gores gets the bill.
Yeah, but how much is the NBA going to pick up for this? Because, you know, they're trying to build the brand nationwide or worldwide. Why the hell are you taking the Pistons?
Yeah.
You know, are they the last or the second to last still?
I think they're third from last now.
What? When did they win?
Yeah.
I don't remember them winning.
A couple games along the way.
It should be almost. I mean, it's like, look, guys, it's amazing. And look where Cleveland is. Cleveland used to be on the skids, you know, and they got the ship sailing again. You know, what the hell? But evidently, it takes a long time to rebuild. You know, evidently not. Even though we have 2 number 1 picks. Okay. Well, it takes them, you know, that we have injuries, we have this, we have that, we have nothing. You've had nothing. I mean, it's like, ask Detroit fans, sport fans, hey, see the Pistons? Oh yeah, They still playing at the Palace? There's nothing for you. I'm sorry, basketball fans, that you had to go find another team in another city. I don't know who, not Indiana. And that's another floater. How does the Pacers just constantly, year after year after year, become 7 games over 500 and do nothing? Forever. They're always like the Minnesota Vikings. They're always like that second-place team that's just about ready but never really does it. Talking about the Vikings, ta-da, hey, frauds. It's like the lights turned on and the roaches started to run. This team was not a 13-game. Pete, was that not a Kirk Cousins game to you, Kenny?
Well, it certainly was not a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday afternoon, so that automatically meant, trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was...
He doesn't do well other than Sunday afternoons at 1.
Well, he doesn't do good. I think, and I got to take a look at this, I think the Vikings' defense was slightly below Detroit's. Way below Detroit's.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why, if they would have had a decent defense, they could have held on. But still, you got Kirk Cousins, who's, he's a reputable name, and he's a serviceable dude, and that's about it. And people go gaga about the guy. Now you saw, if you go back to some sports authorities, you heard us say that Minnesota's were frauds. They were worse than the UCLA fraud of a couple of years ago. They had no reason to be there because they lucked out on so many, every time they play a team, their starting quarterback would get hurt, or they didn't have half a team, or somebody got down with sickness or whatever. They lucked out everywhere they went.
Or somebody would fumble the damn ball on the goal line.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was morons right now are doing that. Well, let's see now. If we beat, Green Bay, who beat the Cowboys, we should be playing for the Super Bowl right now. How you do that weird weaving of, let's see, we beat them, they beat so-and-so, so therefore we deserve to be.
I have some advice to our wonderful Lions fans out there. Stop doing that.
Now.
Just stop now. What you want to do is you want to look at this team and say, I know what I see, and what I see is encouraging, and you damn well better produce on the field. I don't want to hear all this crap about, well, we almost made it, but we didn't, and, you carry the 5 and you bring the 2 over here, and, gee, we just lost out on the math. Nope. Oh, gee, well, it was the game over there in L.A., where the referee blew the call. No. What you expect of this team going forward is that they live up to the hype.
Yeah.
Their hype is, we're going to come in, we're going to kick the doors in, we're going to
bite the knee,
burn our way in, and we're going to shove it up your nose.
Yeah.
Well, live up to it, guys. We're waiting. We're watching. You're on the clock.
Yeah, and that's amazing. Well, we could have gave them a better fight than Seattle did. All right, let's set the Wayback Machine and talk reality. You lost to Seattle. Henceforth, Seattle on that given day was better than you. Okay, there is no discussion. That ends now.
You didn't earn your way into that game.
No, none.
You're talking about no ifs. Go in, kick the door down. Open the fridge, drink their beer, eat their food.
Yeah.
Mess with them, kick their butts. That's what we want to see.
God bless.
And as a fan, you should expect that.
God bless the NFL for actually not having a alternative reality, alternative facts, thing, where you can make up your own standing if you want. It doesn't work here. It's, you look up at the scoreboard, when the gun sounds, that's who advances, that's who doesn't.
Yep.
You know, and you only get 17 tries at the shot. So, okay. You know, it's I don't know. Prove it more. All right. What didn't we talk about in 1 whole minute, young man?
Oh, boy. We didn't talk about tennis. And we're not going to.
You ain't kidding, we ain't. All right. Yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't do NASCAR, but it's a-coming, you know.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Autorama coming up in about a month and a half or so. Stay tuned, kiddies. All right, young man, let's move it through.
Very good.
All right, Kenny, we'll see you next week.
Fun.
Oh, yeah, we should do our buys. Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. You can get us anywhere that you get your podcasts from Podbean, from Spotify, from iHeart, from all these other places that we're at. We're at 16 different places. You can't miss us. All right, so until we see you again next week, thank you for tuning in to the Detroit Sports Authorities. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We love saying it.